right, give it up for the CSL Dallas music team. Aren't they amazing? And welcome everybody to CSL Dallas. Whether you're joining us here in campus or online, we just want to say thank you for joining us today. And I want to remind you that every day is a day for transformation, spiritual deepening, and heart connection, no matter what's going on. And every day we learn and practice something important that can make a difference. We love that you are on this journey with us today. And all this month we are reimagining our faith with Dr. Tracy Brown. And we have a special guest speaker, Joe Tinker, who will help us to explore where is your focus. So join me for today's celebration by putting your hands together for the CSL Dallas music team.
Would you stand and join us singing There Is One Life?
There is one life, the life is perfect, the life is my life now. The life is God's life. The life is perfect. The life is my life now. Spirit in me knows the answer now. I surrender all my fears and doubt. There is one life. The life is perfect. The life is my life now. The life is God's life. The life is perfect. The life is my life now. Spirit in me knows the answer now. Right now, I surrender all my fears and doubt. There is one life, the life is perfect, the life is my life now. The life is God's life, the life is perfect, the life is my life now. Spirit in me knows the answer now. Right now, I surrender all my fears and doubt. There is one life, the life is perfect, the life is my life now. The life is God's life, the life is perfect, the life is my life now. The life is my life now. The life is my life now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, CSL Dallas. Okay, y'all out there online, I don't hear you. Where's your good morning? I can hear virtually. So good morning, everybody. My name is Tracy Brown, and I am a licensed practitioner and spiritual coach here at CSL Dallas. And today, I am your platform assistant. So, of course, we always start our service reminding you that we want you to stay connected. And so connected and help follow us and encourage others to follow us on social media. So please, pull out your smartphone, or if you're at home, make sure that you tag us and that you make sure that all your friends know that you are here with us. You can also sign up for continuous information about what's going on in this community by filling out the connection card located on the welcome table if you are here in the sanctuary. And every week, one of the things that's most powerful is for us to remind ourselves of why we are here and who we are. So I invite you to join in with me in reciting or reading our purpose statement. Here at CSL Dallas, we are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and transforming lives. Yes. So a few announcements as we begin the service just to have in your mind. Number one, I want to remind you about Sangha signups. And if you are not familiar with our Sanghas are small prayer groups within the larger community where people get to know each other and support each other in prayer. And if you are interested in joining a Sangha group, then please reach out to Reverend Patty today if you are in the building on the premises, or you can check out the website to find out more information about our Sangha groups. This guy over here, our amazing music director, what's his name? Kirby Welch, is hosting a community open mic. And so come and join our very talented music director, Kirby, as we come together and share our talents. Now, you don't have to play an instrument. You can come and jam with everybody. You can clap your hands. You can snap your fingers. You can bring your voice or an instrument. And you can do a spoken word piece or a song that you wrote. Come and join other friends as we showcase our creative talents in this community. When is it? It is Friday, August 19th at 7 p.m. Where? Right here on the campus of CSL Dallas in Pankey Hall? In Pankey Hall. Prosperity Plus. Anybody in here have taken Prosperity Plus 1 or 2? Oh, there are a few hands, not nearly enough. Whether you have taken Prosperity 1 or 2 or not, you can sign up for Prosperity Plus 3. Come and join our very own music director. Oh, no, our very own music director would not be teaching Prosperity Plus. That would be Reverend Marcia Megdapur, and she wants to guide you on a path to prosperity. She is offering a course designed by Mary Morrissey, who many of you online and in the room are familiar with, and it teaches us how to move from fear, scarcity, and limited thinking to a life full of possibility, prosperity, and promise. It starts on August 22nd, and please either sign up online to be a part of it, or if you have questions, then there's also a place on the website for you to indicate that. Let's see if I am forgetting anything. Our theme this month is Reimagine Faith, and as our final announcement and as an entry into the going deep that's going to happen today, I want to share with you my friend Shalane Harkin and a poem, a very short poem, Enough's Enough, and then we will lead right into the next song. Take a deep breath. Let go of your dysfunctional relationship with God. Just say, enough's enough, and move out. Your idea that God wants you to feel shame and guilt, that's the first warning sign. Don't assume you're bound to a necessary, lasting contract of fear. What God worth loving would want that? Let go of the idea that this whole glorious world is not spun of golden light. Let that go and trust, as you do, that something much more luminous is waiting everywhere to fill you. I see the kingdom of God in you.
I see the kingdom of God in you, moving in everything that you do. No matter what, this will always be true. I see the kingdom of God in you. I see the kingdom of God in you, moving in everything that you do. No matter what, this will always be true. I see the kingdom of God in you. I see the presence of light in you, moving in everything that you do. No matter what, this will always be true. I see the presence of light in you.
Good morning and welcome to CSL Dallas. If you'd like to close your eyes and just be in this moment, knowing that God is flowing in you and in me and in everyone throughout this building and throughout this state and throughout this United States and throughout the world, knowing that God is divinely present with each and every one of us. And when I look into your eyes, I see the God in you. And when you look into my eyes, you see God in me. And as you look into the eyes of the others in this room, you will notice and you will feel and experience that God is present, and that God is present in every moment of your life. That there is nothing without God. There is no one without God. That divine infinite intelligence runs through and in and me as it does in you in every moment of our lives. Although sometimes it may not seem that way, that is not the truth. The truth is God is here in the divine, infinite spirit, flowing in and as we are. And then I just welcome you again to CSL Dallas. And together we affirm the divinity in us by saying, and so it is.
I see the power of mind in you, moving in everything that you do. No matter what, this will always be true. I see the power of mind in you. I see the love of God in you, moving in everything that you do. No matter what, this will always be true.
2, 3.
Whatever it is, God's got it. Whatever it is, God is moving every day. God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God.
Say that again.
Whatever it is, God's got it. Whatever it is, God is moving every day. God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God.
Let me tell you a little story about how my life got turned around. When I put my heart in God, yeah, everything started working out. Every day became a blessing. Whatever's got me stressing, I know God's got my best in mind. Oh,
Whatever it is, God's got it. Whatever it is, God is moving every day. God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God.
And when I stop to worry, let it go in a hurry. 'Cause in my trouble I know that God will not desert me. My God is always with me to lift me up and fight me. I'm waiting for God's glory, 'cause I know God's gonna light me. Woo!
God's got it. Whatever it is, God is moving every day. God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God. Take it on up. The Holy Spirit is in this place. And as I name it, I claim it. Oh, yeah. The Holy Spirit is in this place. And as I name it, I claim it. The Holy Spirit is in this place. And as I name it, I claim it. The Holy Spirit is in this place. And as I name it, I claim it. Whatever it is, God's got it. Whatever it is, God is moving every day. God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God. Whatever it is, I trust in God. Whatever it is, I trust in God. Sometimes you just got to it's not born to stay buried or silent. We walk in that knowing, oh Lord, have mercy right here and now. That's what we're doing right here and now in every moment. And when we doubt, you just go back to whatever it is. Just go back there, right? Now, I'm so sure somebody's supposed to be introducing Mr. Tinker. Right now. After, okay, that's a good thing, because I just jumped in, you know. It's like that. It happened. Well, you know, okay, so. Is that Andrew Tinker? Yes. I just want you to acknowledge the composer of that last song, please, Mr. Andrew Tinker. Yeah. And in case you didn't know it, that was his mama on the last verse. And that's his daddy finna speak. And unless y'all talking about we having a coup up here, you know, I don't know, it might be. It's a Tinker takeover, but it's all right. That's okay. All right. All right, so here's a little tune by Saint Stevie Wonder. Hope you like it. One, two. it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? Like the sun that always shines, like the poet's endless rhymes, like the galaxies in time. If it's pleasing, then why can't it be never leaving? Like a day that never fails. Like on seashores there are shells. Like the time that always tells. It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe. It fills you up without a bite, and it quenches every thirst. So if it's special, then why with it aren't we as careful as making sure we're dressed in style, or posing pictures with a smile, or keeping danger from a child? And it holds the key to every heart throughout the universe, and it fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's magic, why can't we make it everlasting? Like the lifetime of the sun, it will leave no heart undone, for there's enough for everyone. Oh, la 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 la. Thank you very much.
Candy Williams. And we have an amazing music team. Yes, thank you, Matt and Jonathan, Brad and Kirby. So when we began planning for August and the theme of Reimagine Faith, our co-spiritual directors said something like, oh, well, Tracy, as you develop this theme, you can kind of do whatever you want. And so leading up to this month, some of you saw in our announcements that it said, through the month, get ready for Tracy Brown and Friends to bring you some powerful messages and some insights during the month of August. Last week, I brought some of my practitioner friends up on the platform, and I don't know if you heard that prayer, but if you didn't, you need to go find it, because they brought. And this week, I get to bring it to you, someone that many of you know, and most of us love, and that is Mr. Joe Tinker. Now, most of us love, and probably I should have said that as all of us who know him, I was giving some grace to the people who've never met him before. So if you've been around CSL Dallas for a while, then you know things like Joe Tinker has served on the core council many times, I think 3 times, including a term as chair of the core council, which is the equivalent of our board of directors. He has been active in so many different groups and circles I'm not going to name them all because I want you to be able to hear from him and not just from me, but especially he's been noted for being active in a leader in the theater ministry and with our platform assistants. In fact, I am filling in for him today as platform assistant. And if you've ever been here in the last few years around the December holiday season, then you know him as the perfect Grinch, the perfect example or personalization of the character, the Grinch. But outside of CSL, many of you aren't aware that Joe has had a very successful career. He spent more than 20 years in residential, real estate, new home sales, and marketing. He, as a part of that experience, served on the board of directors for the Home Builders Association of Dallas and chaired the Sales and Marketing Council. So he's very steeped in that. Currently in his career outside of CSL Dallas, he's a senior project manager in the commercial construction business. And he specializes in structural concrete with a focus on new school construction. All of that's really good, and it just gives you another side of knowing who Joe Tinker is. But before I turn the microphone over to him, I would be out of order if I didn't say it is clear by his behavior and his actions that the most important thing to him in his life is the roles of husband and father and family member. And so I just want to acknowledge that his wife, Deidre, and his family are North Texas. They are people in North Texas who are good to us and for us. We are grateful for them. And I want you to give Joe Tinker the most amazing welcome that you can give him. You online, say welcome Joe Tinker in the chat. We're going to check later. Joe Tinker.
Thank you. Some of y'all stood and I hadn't said a word. That's pretty impressive. Standing ovation pre-talk. I love it. No, you're just wanting it to already be over. When I got asked, Tracy, and thank you so much for inviting me and for the ministers to have the confidence to have a non-licensed practitioner, a non-minister to give the talk, I was very pleased about that. And the first thing I remembered was some advice that I read that Mark Twain gave back in his day to someone who was preparing to preach on a Sunday. And he said, here's the trick. You have a great beginning, you have a memorable ending, and you put them as close together as possible. So I'll try to do that. I have in my layout today, I have a little outline here of things that I wanted to talk about, and we're going to move through them and click through some slides, and then we'll see how it goes. First of all, Candy, thank you for If It's Magic. Oh my gosh, yeah. So 1976, Songs in the Key of Life became an anthem album for me. It has been for my life. There's so many great messages in there. But what is it magic? What is it in If It's Magic? Shout it out. What is it probably in your mind? Love. I think, yeah, most people would say, and that's great. But for the purpose of today's talk, I thought this is great because I want to talk about where is our focus. And I have developed the belief that our focus, our ability to hold in consciousness a thought or an expectation or a goal, that is actually magic too. So let's use that to say, hey, look, if it's important, if we think it's important, then why don't we take care of that? Why are we vigilant about our focus? Like the same way as we are about whether we dress in style. Shortcoming of mine, these are just my normal clothes. I don't really have a lot of style, but keeping danger from the child in the lyric? Absolutely. Yeah. So if it's important, then what are we doing with our focus? Okay, how does this thing advance? There it is. Oh, there's me again. Okay. Where is your focus on this picture? You can see this is my family. Kind of squoze in here on a Sunday night, I think it was. But where is the focus? You have focus, first of all. You have focus, maybe picked out a person or two that you're looking at, or you're wondering if it's really in focus or not. It's a focus picture. It's kind of hard to see that many people from a distance. But my question to myself when I decided I want to put this up here so you see, yes, my commitment to family, my role as a leader in that family, and as also a person who's, there for the family to also step into the roles of support in whatever way that I can. My question was, well, what focus occurred before this picture? What had to happen before this picture? And what I can tell you from these people that are in this picture is that overall, their focus has been to live a life where this picture's possible. To live a life where a family can be together and enjoy each other, love each other, support each other, laugh. And I can tell you right before this picture, those babies weren't having it. And they were screaming and crying and having a fit. But Yana, and by the way, these are 4 sons and their wives and girlfriends, beautiful women that you see there, my Deirdre, and then 4 grandchildren, the 2 little boys in the front and the 2 granddaughters right beside and above them there. But the boys were just fed up with it. They didn't want anything to do with this picture business. And so what we started doing was realizing that when this is over, we're going to have cake because we were celebrating Andrew's birthday. And we all just started screaming, cake, 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 cake. And that got the kids' attention. That's why they're like, what is going on now? But somewhere deep in their DNA, they knew it was worth shutting up if it meant cake. Cake is coming. So we've had focus in our lives that led to this. Everybody thought this was important, and they've created it in their lives. But was it perfect focus all the time? I mean, was it a straight shot to that picture? You're laughing because you were there. No, it's kind of like if you see a real estate graph of what houses were worth 100 years ago versus where they're worth today. From that perspective, boy, that looks like a straight line. Buy some real estate, own a home, it's going to go straight up. But did it always go straight up? No, when you zoom in on it, it goes up a little, goes down a little, goes up a little, goes down a little, but trends generally upward. And that's the good news about focus, is riding that generally upward trajectory in our lives doesn't require perfect focus, doesn't require perfect execution of spiritual laws, doesn't require perfect understanding of the science of mind. It requires that more than 50%, at least more than 50%. And if you're lucky, you really get the traction going and you feel, like 60, 70, 80% of the time you're practicing spiritual practice. You're a part of, the reason that you're here. You're all here at a place that's named Center for Spiritual Living. So you have some interest in, okay, I have these ideas, I kind of understand this science, but how does it apply to living a life? Can I make it work in my real life? And that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit with focus, just a little slice called What is Our Focus? So focus as a noun, as a noun, focus is called the center of interest or activity. Okay, so what's your focus is, well, what's my interest and central activity? What is the main thing, okay? The other one, though, it's also a verb, which is to focus, is to pay particular attention to. So that's the verb version. So why is it important that we think about focus? Well, one of the things that we teach here is that thoughts and feelings, or our focus, are attractive. A lot of times I think it's one of the hardest things to overcome is that all this stuff happens, and then I have these feelings. Of course I have these feelings. Look at all the stuff that's happening. And yet, the idea is, in this science of mind, is that we have the power to choose new thoughts. We're not condemned to our visceral reactions. As a dad, I wanted to learn to not get so upset when things happen that threaten my family or threaten my idea of just how quickly the dinner ought to be put on the table. So I wanted to learn to shorten the time that I was upset and try to get to a point where I could skip it all together. So the idea is we are able, through our own thoughts and feelings, choosing them carefully, we actually are informing the universe, informing spirit, informing this thing that we're all a part of, the thing that's breathing you right now, that's looking through your eyeballs at me, the thing that's growing the trees, that presence, that oneness that we're all here saying, yeah, we believe that, we think, we're trying to prove it to ourselves so we can use it. Well, you're informing it. That's the unique thing about a human, is that we have this power in our mind to have deep feelings and to think about things. And that's what the universe uses in order to say, well, then let me show you some more of that. Let me lay that out for you. So that is the idea of our talk about why it's important that we know about focus. So I hope I can help you understand this a little bit with a few stories and some examples. So here's a quote from Ernest Holmes. It's up to us to make the decision to follow the course of affirmative thinking, prayer, and meditation. Well, those are three of the spiritual tools that we teach here. There are more. So get invested in CSL Dallas. Get on the website, sign up for classes, workshops, do this stuff. Affirmative thinking, prayer, and meditation that will continually keep the stream of divine energy flowing through our minds, our bodies, and our affairs. Now, do you wake up and think to yourself, gee, I'm committed that the divine energy flow through my mind, my body, and my affairs today? Okay, not today you didn't. Yeah? Okay, so we can be honest. Is it every day? Is it some days? It's the same thing, up and down. We kind of do better some days than others, but generally we're trending up. That's our goal. That's what we're looking for. So it's important that we have focus and that we recognize the power of our focus. I grew up as a Catholic, in a Catholic household. This was actually like from the movies Catholic household. We went every Sunday, every time there was a holy day. We had a large family of 9 people, so to see us move about in space was a feat to watch. To see, they brought, if we ever got to go out to eat, which was a rare treat, sometimes the waiters would bring the staff from the kitchen to come out and look at the Tinkers eating at the table, because you don't normally see 9 people with all these little kids being so well behaved. But, it was fear-based behavior, I can tell you. A lot of it was anyway. So I grew up as a Catholic, and I can tell you that one of the imprints that was impressed upon me was the existence of a higher power. So call it what you will today, spirit, God, whatever. But, I was convicted in this sense as a young Catholic child. Went to Catholic school, went to Mass every time the doors were open. So I became quite convinced that this is true. What's happened is that my own understanding of how that shows up has modified and grown over the years. And I want to give you an example of something that happened where I knew, and I know now, and I've been able to know for my whole life, that this power does exist and that this power does want to help us. And to the extent that we are focused on the thing that is important to us, that power will step in and absolutely make things happen. I was 24 years old, and I was in Present Company Included. Isn't that a great name for a comedy troupe? We were improv comedy that included y'all, and so it was Present Company Included. That's where I met Deirdre. I have solid friends that are still my friends for life from the days in theater and in Present Company Included. We were moving ourselves to Fort Worth because we had gigs in theaters. I was also acting in plays. I had graduated with a theater degree from University of North Texas, and we wanted to live in Fort Worth to be closer to the things that were happening for us. And I was in my house in Denton that I rented with some friends, and I was sitting in the kitchen, and I was circling want ads in the newspaper. Now, for you young people, they used to have a paper version of what you see online, and you could look in where they had help wanted, and I was circling things in Fort Worth that I was going to be making calls and figuring out. Because what did I absolutely know? We're moving to Fort Worth, we're going to be a big success, and I'm going to need another job, because big success as a new theater person doesn't mean, enough money. So, but I absolutely knew it. I absolutely knew it. If I need a job, I'm going to have a job. I'm just circling these opportunities. And in through the door, clad as one of my good friends from school. Her name was Sharon. She was a mutual friend of all our friends. Came Spirit. Sharon showed up as Spirit. Hey, I need to borrow your phone. All you young people, again, no cell phones. We had no cell phones. She was wandering around town doing this and that and said, I'll stop by the place Tinker and friends rent, and I'll use their phone. She came to the kitchen to use the phone. What you doing, Joe? I said, well, I'm circling opportunities. I'm looking for a job. We're moving to Fort Worth. She said, oh, I know something you'd be perfect for. My mom sells real estate, and I spent the summer working part-time for her as a model attendant, which means making brochures, greeting people, visiting, making coffee, being a friendly host until the salespeople. You'd be perfect. You'd be perfect for this. And I knew that I would. It just resonated in me that, oh my God, that sounds great. They're not open in the evening, so we can do all the shows, I can do rehearsals, I can go to theater stuff, and I can work during the day. And she said, and if you do really good and you get a deposit from somebody, they give you a bonus, they give you like $100 for this or that. Joe, you got to go talk to my mom. So what do you think I did? I picked up that ball that Spirit handed off, and I didn't know to call it all this back then. I was just doing what a person would do if you're looking for a job and a friend walks in and says, I have a job for you. And you know what? Her mom was thrilled with me. She thought this was a great idea. 24 years old, nice, energetic young man, wants to do well, can speak to people, isn't afraid to greet, isn't afraid to do what needs to be done to help her out. She recommended me immediately to her boss. But her boss was like, I don't know. That's a woman's job, she said. This is something that a girl should do. And I met with her, and she said, I got to tell you, though, I'm not very hot on this idea. I really don't think you'll be happy because it's making brochures, it's making coffee, it's emptying the trash. You know, you have to clean up if something spills. I said, I would love to do that. I would love to do that. So we moved to Fort Worth, and I didn't have the job. I also didn't have a phone, so I marched down to the payphone at the end of the street. For, again, young people, we used to have phones where you could put a dime or a nickel or a quarter in and talk to people on a public phone, okay? Also in those days, it did not have some hand sanitizer there to, no. But anyway, I marched down to the phone, and I called Phyllis, the boss, and I called her 3 times a day, and I always get voicemail. So I'd leave her a voicemail. Hey, it's me again. My phone hasn't been hooked up yet. Really want to get back together. Want to get started on that job. Every day, several times a day. And finally, she answered the phone, and she said, I'm answering this phone because if my salespeople were as persistent in their follow-up as you've been to get this job, I'd have a bunch more sales. Why don't you come down here and let's work this thing out? So I got a job. But I got a job because way back in that kitchen in Denton, I was focused. I knew what was happening. I knew what I needed. I knew where I needed to go. And I trusted that there was something. I already knew there was something out there for me. But did I know that I would fall in love with new home sales? That the theater of presenting to people, as I am to you here, engaging people's interest in an awesome product that they want, that's going to improve the lives of their family, which was also important to me, and I wanted to grow a family. It was perfect. So theater became more of a hobby, and I took up a career from Spirit walking in the kitchen in Denton one day. Just led to all these great things. So this is one that I've known all my life. Hey, just remember, this stuff really works. This stuff really works, right? So I knew that from that case. And I want to tell you another one from the sales, from the sales business, and that is the story of the Midnight Madness sale. Okay, so now I'm actually selling houses. I've worked on a couple of different teams in different neighborhoods, but one of the most active that I had, they had 5 salespeople, 3 model parks, and we had like 30 completed homes in inventory ready. I mean, that's instant commissions. You can close those sales quickly and people can make a lot of money. And I was assigned to that neighborhood, and our company, Fox and Jacobs, shout out to F&J, been big for me in my life. Owned a couple of them, lived in them, sold a bunch of them. Anyway, but the F&J team in Cedar Hill was gifted. We didn't do this company-wide. We did it in our community, a Midnight Madness sale. They rented those giant searchlights that, you know, they were from World War II, I think, looking for airplanes and stuff. But they had these searchlights like a grand opening event. They're giving us, here is a list of all the properties and some discounts that you can sell, special financing that you can sell. We want these inventory homes gone in a week, and we're staying open till midnight every day to do it. And we're doing extra advertising. It'll be on the radio. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to sell all these houses. They're going to stay open till midnight. We're going to have, I was so excited. The rest of my team, not so much. They were a little further along in their career, and they didn't think it was right that the company should make them stay there till midnight. They didn't think it was right that the company should require that they work every day and don't have a day off. I was up for this. I was volunteering for this. I was excited about this. But I learned something very special, which was someone had introduced me to affirmations. So we use some affirmations here where we actually put into words a thing that isn't necessarily exhibited yet, but yet what we're affirming is absolutely the truth and is going to be my experience. And so what I said was, I'm easily and successfully selling 14 homes by the end of this sale. I'm easily and successfully selling 14 homes by the end of this sale. I'm easily and successfully selling 14 homes by the end of this sale. You get it? I'm driving to work, I'm saying this. I'm showering in the morning, I'm saying this. I've got it written on a thing on the mirror. How many have done affirmations where you're just like, I'm going to dig in on this one, okay? So I dug in on this one, and I was so excited, and the sale was a huge success for me. Not so much for the gripers and complainers. All that happened for them was every time I would greet a new person, welcome, hi, so great to see you. We got a ton of great opportunities here. Please let me show you how. Folks, I'll be with you shortly. We'll take care of these people first. Come along right with me. And I would go start showing around. And while they were looking, about 2 minutes later, I'd be back there pulling a new contract file to write a new contract. And the other people would be like, again? Really? They couldn't believe it. But, I didn't have the words to say at the time how I could have helped them by explaining that my attitude made the difference. It just seemed rude, actually, to be bragging that, yeah, well, I'm doing it right and you're not. And that's, I didn't even know that. I just was like, I'm in the flow and this is happening. And I sold 14 houses that week. It absolutely worked. Of course, it was a huge, huge commission. It was a big, big plus for my family. And so I recognized in that instance that affirmations do work as a support to what I already believed, which is that a focus will yield results. In fact, you know what? It's happening anyway, whether you know it, believe it, or care about it or not. Whatever your what you're predominantly holding true about yourself, your thoughts about your situation, your relationships, your work, whatever it is, those that you're holding, those are how you're informing the universe of what your life is like for you. You're making it happen whether you know it or not. So grabbing a hold of it and saying, I want some information about how to do that wisely is important. Here's the quote for this one. I claim my good and subconsciously accept my good. That good is now appearing, and I train my eyes to see it and my thought to expect it. This is work right here, y'all. When the world is showing you a bunch of other stuff that doesn't match that, this is work. So how you go about creating this focus, we're going to talk about some tools to do that here very quickly. One right now is a little exercise that you got a piece of paper when you came in. Look like this. If you didn't get one, hold up your hand. They'll help us bring you one. What you need to do is you need to pick someone to play with. So we're going to get a person that you can do this with. It can be someone you know, someone you don't know. Get somebody that can do this one-to-one exercise. It's a lot of fun. So what's going to happen is one of you is going to start by being the universe, and the other person is going to start by being the human. And then we'll do that for a couple minutes, and we're going to flip the script, and you'll swap roles. The other person will be the universe, and the person who was the universe will become the human. And what this is called is the Cosmic Creation Cafe, and what that says under the title is open 24/7, 365. Okay, this is the Universe Cafe, and it's open all the time. Just be aware that your server is there always. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this menu. I hope you can see that well enough. This says heaven on earth. have, do, be, or feel any of these things. These are positive things that you may wish to attract or enhance in your life. It could be love, creative expression, passion, life in the flow, inspiration, energy. See all these positive things? This is your menu at the Heaven on Earth Cafe, Heaven on Earth menu at the Creation Cafe. Have, do, be, feel. Okay. Have, do, be, or feel. Okay. Have, do, be, or feel. So if you are, hold your hand up if you're going to be the universe in your group. There you go. You're the universe first. Okay, look at your friend now, and you read the universe script, which is to say, welcome to the Cosmic Creation Cafe. What would you like today? And if you're the human, pick one up here, and then continue the conversation when the universe says, when you have that, what's that going to feel like? What's it going to look like? How's that going to be? And then you'll get a chance to do another one because the universe will say, that sounds fantastic. What else would you like? And I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. And if you're watching us on live stream at home, then this is the perfect time to talk to yourself. Or if you're there with someone, do this with that person. Otherwise, go get a dog, a cat, somebody sit in front of you and be the universe for you. And let's have some fun. Let's go. You have 2 minutes now to chat with the universe. A second selection, go ahead and do that. We're going to wrap up your turn's coming to an end. So grab something great from the Heaven on Earth menu. How will that feel? All right, let's bring that to a close. If you are the human and the universe, we're going to bring that to a close. And we're going to swap roles. So now it'll be your turn to be the human if you were the universe. It'll be your turn to be the universe if you were the human. So round 2, let us go. New universe, speak. If you didn't get to make a second choice yet, let's do that. We're about to wrap this part of the process up. Just a little bit longer. Wrap that up, please. Humans, please thank your universe. Universe, thank the human for being here today. That's great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank your partner for participating. All right, so you got a chance to have a taste of something. Guess what, though? This is what I'm talking about. That menu is out there all day, every day. And to the extent we let what we're seeing sometimes distract us from indulging in requiring these things of our experience on life is where we sometimes can go wrong. In fact, we didn't see the flip side of the menu, but there's also Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen is to have, do, be, or feel a bunch of other stuff that unfortunately is up here because we've experienced it, because we have. And you know what? To the extent that we get mired in it, though, and we complain about it and we retell it and we just get into it. Don't do that. If you get into it, if you put a lot of feeling and emotion into your unhappiness and dissatisfaction, the universe still only knows one thing. That's what you're into. And you're going to see more and more to make that happen. Flip the menu over, do everything you can to stay on top of this positive menu. One other quick story. I want you to hear this because it's a real life, modern day, current example of using this spiritual tool. And here's what happened. I think I read about this in Emmett Fox's book. Maybe it was Sermon on the Mount. But Emmett Fox told of a woman who was having repairs done in her home. Have you ever waited for the people to come to work in your house? Okay, so this is what she was going through. But when the people showed up, they were going to end up working in her house for 2 or 3 days, and inside and outside. And it was a group of 4 or 5 people, and she was off put immediately because they were gruff. They were even mean and rude to each other, and she particularly was off put by their language because they used a lot of worker kind of foul language. It didn't bother them at all to use language that was uncomfortable to her. So she thought about it and decided to use spiritual practice instead of confronting them with her words and getting into it. She thought, well, this could be a problem because I need these people. And so she retired to her chambers and did her own spiritual mind treatment. And what she did was she began to envision those same people getting along and proceeding with her work in a more harmonious and comfortable way. She made that happen in her imagination. She created in her mind a version of these people working in harmony. And then she added on top of that, and they speak with grace and compassion, and they take this cussing out. That's not for me. That's not in my house. And rather than going out and making a big Karen scene, we might call it today, going out and straightening them out or sending her husband in to mansplain it to him, rather than those things happening, she did it through spiritual mind treatment, and it worked. The attitude changed in the house, somehow in her energy, and these people then ended up working in her home in a way that was much more comfortable for her, and it met her needs. So I said, I got a problem. My problem is road rage. I am so pissed off at all y'all because though you're terrible drivers, all of y'all are messing up my life with your terrible driving. It's not really you, but everybody else on the road. The truth was, I was that sales and marketing director, so I'm recruiting, hiring, training, and maintaining the best sales force that I can get, and that means I'm always going somewhere. I need to get somewhere quicker than you. I'm always running late. I'm eating while I'm in the car. I'm cutting people off. I'm throwing a turn with no blinker. I'm the guy, but it's you that I'm worried about, that I'm having a problem with, that I'm getting angry about, that I'm getting invested in. And so I used this trick from the book, and I said, I'm going to change my thinking. I can't go talk to these people. I got to change my thinking. And the little trick Spirit just put in my head was to say, when I'm cut off, I'm going to bless that person by thinking, this young woman is her 3rd time to be late. She's going to get fired if she doesn't make it. I gave her a reason for doing something that seemed to be risky or unkind. Cutting me off, oh, this person's mother is in the hospital. They're anxiously trying to get there to the hospital. I gave these people grace that I manufactured. But guess who was the first person to benefit? Me. I didn't have to be mad. I didn't have to flip them off, but I'd only flip them off down here because I didn't really want to do it in case they had a gun, you know. But I was angry driver, and I decided to be kind driver, and I began imagining for my own benefit, for my own peace, I gave people grace. And guess what happened? didn't take very long. In about a week or 10 days, I didn't make up stories anymore. I just knew that person has a story that's making them be in a hurry, that's making them do something that might otherwise seem unkind in some way. And I blessed them and hoped for the best, and I just backed off and let it happen. Now the best part of all, I drive in a bubble of the most fabulous drivers in DFW now. This is my experience. I highly recommend it. Stop getting irritated at those people. Bless them and know that they are part of you. They're part of the oneness that just needs some healing, and you just want to give them some grace. And guess what? That's what the bubble is all the people around you. And I have seen so many things happen that otherwise, when they transpired, might have even been difficult and dangerous to my own health and safety and that of my family. But I don't worry about it anymore, because I know that grace surrounds me on that road, and I feel at peace. And I probably added a few years to my life. Transcendental Toolbox, just take a picture of this. We're running out of time here. You should be getting Peter's Daily Word. You should get the CSL Daily Midday Text. There's a little on the back of your script that tells you how to do that. Morning reading and listening. Please, if your alarm turns on to the news and that's how you wake up, big mistake. Don't do that. Get some positive vibes going first. Get up, get your morning beverage if you like. Get something going positive. Get a gratitude journal going. Of the things in the cafe, gratitude. If you want to feel more gratitude, use that one, baby. Find everything you can to be grateful for. Just be grateful for everything. Because when the universe says, oh, here's a person who likes to feel grateful, let me heap some more stuff on them to be grateful for. That's going to happen. So choose gratitude. Find things. You know what? Finish the laundry and all the socks match up. Yay! Get stopped at a stoplight in a long line, but I'm in the shade tree. Yay! Gratitude. Open the refrigerator. There's all your nice, cool food. The cabin we stayed in part of our vacation, when it was built in 1800s, back in those days, the builder put a cage on the outside of the kitchen on a shaded side and put cabinet doors there. You would open the cabinet doors and there was your butter and milk, because it didn't get above 40 or 45 degrees in the shade in those cabins back in the pre-electric days. So good for you. You're not competing with a bear for your food in the refrigerator. Victory. Be glad. Find the things to be happy and glad and grateful for. Physical activity, take care of yourself, please. Get some exercise. I'm a hot yoga person. Who would have thought? 15 years now. Hot yoga. It's like 4 times a week, and I love it. And if you like to walk, by the way, public service announcement, I tell this to anybody if I ever can. If you're walking on public road right-of-ways, if you didn't learn this already, walk facing the traffic so you see the crazies coming at you, not sneaking up on you from behind, and ditch the earbuds. If you're on a walkway, you need to be conscious and, use your focus to be awake and aware. Too many distracted drivers fishing for their phone that fell on the floor. So don't let that be you. And then your handheld mobile device. Come on. The world is at your fingertips. What do you choose to use that for? Okay, come on. It's fun to play whatever you're playing. That's good too. But there's plenty of meditation support. There's plenty of new thought support. There's plenty of everything you need to pick up your spiritual practices and make the most of them. Those are some of the tools. And here is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you. Give thanks continuously, and because all things have contributed to your advancement, even the hard stuff, because it's how you got over it and got here that turned you into who you are, you should include all things in your gratitude. Thank you, Ralph Waldo Emerson. And finally, from John Lennon, one of my favorites, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. But that is the end of this talk. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let us have a short closing prayer as we just say thank you for the opportunity to be in community and in spirit here together. We know and we recognize that oneness that we celebrate here in this sanctuary, that oneness that we felt, and we know that we have our love and our support here that lets us leave out from this place then and make these practices a part of our lives so that we do in fact experience spiritual living. And so it is. Thank you.
Yes, you can applaud again. So, how many of you, like me, are planning to go to the Cosmic Creation Cafe for lunch today? Thank you, Joe Tinker. That was simply amazing in all the right ways. Oh my gosh. I am grateful for Joe Tinker. Yay! Did I get it right?
Thank you.
Okay, so now's the time in our spending time together to support our community. And I just want to encourage you to give generously, whether you are in the room or whether you online. So much of what we do is keeping us growing together because we give together. Your donations are more important than ever right here in the midsummer. So please join me in saying aloud our Abundance Affirmation. Everything I do, say, and think is quickened into productive action. My faith causes that which was unseen to become visible. CSL Dallas is drawing ever-increasing truth and beauty, goodness and harmony, abundance and prosperity for us to use for good in the world. And so it is. You can use the QR code that's on the screen. You can text give. You can go to cslDallas.org/give. If you are online and here on campus, you can also do the same, or you can drop your gift into the baskets that are being circulated right now. Take a deep breath with me. There's someone within the sound of my voice right now who is saying, you know, I like this place. Like, they dance, they got good music. Or that message really hit a place that I've been searching for or trying to understand. And if you're hearing that message from the inside of your brain or your heart, then you might want to consider being a member here. And we are starting our next new member orientation, and that is coming up beginning Saturday, August 27th. It's a one-day, it's 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., both online and in person. So if that interests you, please sign up in advance, either in person here or online. And before we close today, I want to remind you that whether you're celebrating something great or whether you want to affirm what you ordered in the Cosmic Conscious Cafe, we have spirit practitioners, prayer practitioners, and spiritual coaches who are available to you after service, both in person and online. If you are on the campus, please go across the breezeway into the Peace Room, and a person will pray with you individually. If you are online, please look in the comments for the link, and you will be taken to a Zoom room where a practitioner will pray with you one-on-one in privacy to celebrate your successes and to help you get your focus, as Joe talked about, as you move forward to something different. Join us after today's celebration in the breezeway, across the breezeway in Pankey Hall, and also meet our featured artist of the month. We've got some beautiful art across the way. And you can also find sign-ups. Excuse me? Oh my goodness, you better go across the breezeway if you are here and buy some art to pay for this, to pay for our artist baby that is being delivered now. But she will be here at the last week of the month. So Okay, we're having a baby. Let's have some art. And let us join together as we end our time today with music.
Hold this space, for we are